Hey everyone, welcome back to Self-Serving Skillet. We are on week 4 of this October challenge where we only spent $5 a day at the grocery store. I took $155, $5 for every day in October, and I went to a couple different grocery stores, did one grocery haul for the entire month. The entire month is sort of dedicated to that. At the beginning of the month, we broke down 2 chickens, and today we are using the wings. That's kind of what we have left. We kind of have the, it's not really scraps, right? But we have what we have at this point. We're going to try to stretch these as far as possible. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to make this stew. Now I'm gonna call this chicken wing pot roast. Onion, carrot, potato, savory, aromatic herb, and I'm going to cut my onion. I only have 1 onion left, but I'm going to cut my onion into 4 parts. I'm going to quarter this onion and peel it off into its layers, and I just want onion petals. I want these to survive the braising process, and I want to be able to see them in this sort of chunky stew that I'm making. I also have a handful of carrots, and you want these to be roughly the same size. A carrot is not going to be the same size from all the way on the root ends to all the way on the frond ends, the plant ends, the blossom, the carrots, the carrot plant, what comes above ground. I don't know why I struggle with words, but I want to cut those in sort of pieces that will both stand up to the cooking process and that maybe I can cut in half and it will be a reasonable size bite. And the only other thing that I need to put any thought into are my potatoes. Now I barely have any Yukon Golds left, but I have a whole bunch of baby red potatoes. That's sort of a big baby red potato, and I love the flavor of red potatoes. And I'm just gonna leave these whole. You wanna wash them, you wanna leave them whole, and these potatoes especially will soak up all the fat. You can put them with any cut from any animal that it has a reasonable fat content, and it will just soak up all that fat, and it's just delicious, fat and salt. So when it's time to cook this, I want to get my pan real hot, and I just want to sear the skin side of the chicken wing. We're gonna turn that over, give it a minute on the other side, and take the chicken wings off, and you're left with a little bit of chicken fat on your pan. And that's part of what we want, and part of what we want is this fond that's left on the pan, the leftovers from the chicken, all that flavor. So I'm gonna go in with the last like tablespoon and a half of butter I have for the month, and I'm gonna get that all melty, and once it is, I'm going to go in with my onions. Now, my goal right now is not to cook these. This is gonna chill out in the oven for like half an hour, so I don't really need to cook any of this right now, but I do want to get it coated in butter and start that cooking process. So after about 2 minutes of these onions in this butter, I'm gonna splash in a little apple cider vinegar. Now I think the apple cider vinegar is gonna go very well with what I have here, because I don't really have like a sweet, sort of fruity element. So in addition, you want some sort of acid and something that has a little bit of a sweet pop. Sherry vinegar would also work very well. And I'm just gonna use this to deglaze my pan. I wanna get all the fond off the bottom. We've done that millions of times on the show before. And after I do all that, I'm going to go in with the rest of the cauliflower that we froze at the beginning of the month. We're gonna use it now. We're gonna use it in this. And cauliflower really kind of keeps its shape, and it absorbs a lot of flavor. Again, not really worried about cooking this because it's going to have a lot of cook time already. Just want to get this coated in the liquid. After I do, carrots go in, coat in the liquid, and then I want to find space for my chicken wings. I want the unseared side touching the pan, so I'm going to go around, move things around, and get those chicken wings on the bottom of the pan. Next step is my baby red potatoes. I'm going to get those in wherever they make sense, and I'm left with like 3 more, which is okay because I have other applications I can use these for. And when everything's in my pan, I want to go in. I still have about a pint of that chicken stock, which is about half a liter. And when you're braising, you want your liquid to almost cover the top of your protein. You want just a barely a turtle shell poking out, right? So that's what we're gonna do. And if we don't have quite enough liquid, there's no harm in getting some water in that jar, shaking it around to get any fat, any collagen, any chicken stock remnants out of there so that we can top this up to where we need it. I'm gonna bring that back to a boil. I want to cover it and get it into a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for around 25 minutes, half an hour. But if you have a larger cut of meat, if you're doing this with chicken thighs, maybe go 45 minutes. If you're going with a whole 3 pounds of beef, maybe you want more like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. All right, let's taste this. I got like 3 servings out of this, and I was only intending to get 2. I was gonna do 2 chicken wings per serving, but this is kind of a lot of food. So I'm gonna eat 1 chicken wing for this demonstration, and then every serving is gonna have another chicken wing for me. So let's go with the, this is what I'm most excited about, are the potatoes. Now, it's beautiful. It tastes like the chicken stock. It has such, red potatoes for me are like the brown rice of the potato world, if that makes any sense. I really love brown rice. I know not a lot of people do, but it just has such like a rich, full flavor, and that's what I equate it to. Even if you don't like brown rice, try this. You're probably gonna love it because it's just so full of flavor. Onions, perfect, sweet, exactly what they should be. Cauliflower has kind of absorbed everything. So we have a lot of elements that like absorb flavor, but they all kind of have their own like base flavor, which is really cool. That's really good. Oh man, I forgot seasoning. We took a clipping. We took a clipping from my rosemary plant and got it in there with the braising liquid. And then after I separated out all of the solids, I went into the liquid portion and got everything salt and peppered to taste. All right, carrot. Yeah, I don't love cooked carrot, but since we were only going for about half an hour here, this didn't have a chance to get like pumpkin-y, which is really nice. It's still a little bit sweet. It's still, it doesn't have any snap to it, but it definitely stays together. It doesn't turn to mush. I like that way better than like carrots with a pot roast. There's such a big problem because they're in there for so long and they just turn to mush. Maybe if we were making a pot roast, maybe if we set a timer for the middle of the cook and then added our carrots, maybe that would work way better. I'm gonna eat the smallest chicken wing because these are my meals. I want the other ones for my meals, but It's super tender. You can taste the sear still. I'm getting rosemary, I'm getting butter. That's very nice. And it's very, like, there's a lot of fat in this meat, so the slow cooking process works really well. It just falls off the bone and it's so tender. So I know that's not the usual cooking process for a chicken wing. It's not usually the fall off the bone kind of rib style thing, but we can make traditional chicken wings next. So I was gonna make you guys some potato chips to go with these chicken wings, but potato chips are so damn finicky and you need special tools. I mean, not really, but it really helps to have a mandolin. And I couldn't find my mandolin, of which I own 3. So what I'm about to show you is so damn easy and also is really, really good. I don't even miss the potato chip. This is really one serving. It does involve exactly as much meat as I put in my last 3 servings, but this is more of like a game day, football day meal accompanied with a beer and whatnot. But these potatoes are baby red potatoes. They're the 3 baby red potatoes that we didn't use in the braise. And I like to cut them the long way, find that skinny end, cut down the long way so that we get enough surface area. You want sort of shallow pools, all right? And then I'm gonna take some rosemary off of my kitchen window. I'm gonna chop it really fine and get it into a dish with some salt, with some kosher salt because it's nice and thick. And I just want to coat the flat sides of these potatoes with that rosemary salt. I like a cast iron skillet for this because it holds a lot of heat. I'm gonna get that cast iron nice and hot and use some of my high heat oil that we bought in the grocery haul. Get those potatoes face down in that high heat oil. I ended up rotating all of these once, just a quick boop, so that the heat was even. But it did take me maybe 4 minutes to get to a nice color on the outside of these. Flip them, get them out of the way, and then we're going in with our chicken wings. Now, you don't need oil for these if they're going in the oven, but we already have oil because of the potatoes. So I'm gonna get these down in that oil. It took about another 4 or 5 minutes to get a nice color on the outside of this. I'm going with the side that has the most skin down on the pan. After that, I'll flip. I'm gonna get everything in that same 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for around 15 to 20 minutes until these wings bake, until they're nice and roasty. The potatoes also need a little bit of time because they have not had a chance to cook from the bottom up. Only the bottom up. Now they need to do the top down. Buffalo sauce is probably the easiest thing that you could ever make because the original recipe is just 50% butter and 50% Frank's Red Hot. Now, I could use Frank's Red Hot because it's traditional, but it kind of doesn't agree with me, and I like something a little bit different. So I'm using this this sweet habanero. It's called Crybaby Craig's. It's a Twin Cities, or I guess it says handcrafted in Minnesota. I don't know that it's necessarily from the Twin Cities. So I thought I used my last bit of butter in that braise, but it turns out I found a little bit of butter in this pan, in this this sort of butter melting dish that I have. So I melted that back up, and we're just gonna go 50-50 with the hot sauce and the butter, get our wings in there, and it smells amazing. It really does. I can't, you know, it's been like torture sitting here talking to you guys and not eating this. I'm gonna go with the potato first. Okay. It's been a little bit crispy on the outside, which is why I thought of it instead of a potato chip. The only thing I can really think of is that it's been kind of sitting for 20-25 minutes while I've been waiting to film. But it's really wonderful. The red potato tastes amazing. The rosemary tastes amazing on it. And it's salty enough. It's as salty as a potato chip. Great game day meal, especially with a beer. All right. Chicken wing. I really enjoy that. The sauce itself, it's not too spicy. It definitely fills me with spice. I feel it in my nose and my throat and everything, but it's very slight, right? The intensity is not huge on this spice, and it's very flavorful. So experiment with your hot sauces, experiment with your herbs, your flavor profiles, everything. This is it's really good. I like this a lot. And I've also, during this month, been experimenting with desserts that I could make from what I have. So instead of a third meal option, you know, I think I'm up to 4 meals now, and I definitely have enough eggs and enough cheese and things like that. I could exist on cheese omelets for the rest of this time, but I think it's far more interesting to show you what I've been doing for dessert. So for dessert, I have these hand pies made from those pie rounds that I made a couple of weeks ago. I think week 1 of the show, we made a whole bunch of chicken gravy ideas, and I made some chicken pot pies with these pie crusts. But today we're going to make some sweet hand pies, and I'm going to use those Cortland apples that we got for 99 cents a pound at the beginning of this month. I'm going to peel them just because the peels are a little bit weird, skins are a little bit weird in a pie, and then I'm going to dice them in maybe a 1/4 inch dice, something like that, a little smaller than the centimeter maybe. And I'm gonna do it this small because I think that I don't have to cook the filling first if I'm dicing it this small. So in with 1 apple's worth of diced apple, I'm going to go in with a 1/4 cup of sugar and just a dab of molasses. And that makes this into a brown sugar. Don't keep brown sugar. Now I can make brown sugar at will. And I also want a little bit of cinnamon. You can go in with allspice, nutmeg, clove, all of the pumpkin pie spices, ginger. You can do any of that, and I'm just gonna mix this around by hand until I have something that is pretty uniform, and I'll just put a handful in each pie. And this will make me about 3 hand pies. And in the other 2, I'm gonna go with some of that strawberry topping, that strawberry ice cream topping that we made a little while ago as an ice cream topping in our ice cream month. I think that was August. And that's just gonna go right in the middle. I'm gonna close these up with a little egg wash. Now, I couldn't find my pastry brush, but that's okay because I can just get a little on my fingers and go around the perimeter of each of these pie crusts and then close them on each other. And it never hurts to reinforce the seal with a little bit of a fork press, and get those kind of sealed together. So these are going then in a 350 Fahrenheit oven. This took me about 35 minutes to get to the color that I wanted. And oh man, it looks great. It looks nice, it looks professional. It's like an adult Pop-Tart, right? I should have put some slits over the top to let gas escape. I think I got a little bit of filling escaping either way, but that would have helped. But first, let's test out this this fruit tea. Over the course of the month, I've been testing out fruit teas that I've been making concentrates with, and then topping them up with seltzer water to get sort of a funky, cheap soda. And that works. That's probably my second favorite. I really liked the raspberry. This has a great aftertaste. You could add some simple syrup to get it to be a little more cherry-y. So peach, cherry, maybe raspberry, and then the two wild berry blueberries. But not a bad experiment, not a bad purchase. I really enjoy that. All right, pies. Oh man, look at that. Look at how crumbly that is. Adult Pop-Tart is right. That's so good. That's the strawberry guy. And I don't know, that's everything I want. It's sweet, it's savory, it's crispy, it's crunchy. It has a nice amount of acid in there. If I remember correctly, we added lemon zest to the ice cream topping. It's really good. Okay, apple. Let's go with the smaller apple. There we go. All right, so that cracks right in half. You can see the pastry layers in there, right? Nice pastry layers in there. Smells really good. And I like that better than the slice of apple pie because everything's crispy. Nothing's had a chance to get soggy in the form, in the tin. This is really nice. Hopefully, we've come up with some really great ideas that you can implement in your own home cooking practice this month. What would you have done? Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, if you would have done anything differently. Get in the kitchen and make yourself something amazing. Now for your viewing pleasure, the bloopers. Last time, to be lazy, I put this on my editor that we should put the Celsius equivalent up on the screen. But you know what takes a lot less time is for me to put it into the internet and tell you that 350 degrees Fahrenheit is 176.6 repeating degrees Celsius. You're welcome. We're all on the internet. We're all watching this on the internet. We can do, no one has to know math anymore too. That's just a joke. Know your math. Please know math so you don't infuriate me if we ever meet out in the real world.